the human factor involved. So if we don't deal with our situation of being ethically and morally right and responsible, we are not going to get anywhere. But if we decide, that is, we decide, it's a conscious decision to eradicate it, we can.
All right. Thank you very much. I'll give the floor to two participants to make a quick comment, building on our strong values, cultural heritage, identity, and integrity to fight corruption. Two, yes, and then you. Only two. Good. All right.
Okay. I also think if we are to fight corruption, our churches have a role to play. I want to cite an example. I went to the senior high school in the Western region, and where I was, there was a particular church I wouldn't like to mention. When it is time for harvest and whoever is appointed the chairperson for the program, on the day of the harvest, the whole church has to move to the person's house with a lot of singing brass band to bring the person to the church. What is happening in our church is someone can be in the church for a lot of years, serving the church in all capacity, but the person's effort will not be recognized because the definition we have for success is what? Money. Someone who has money. So if I can work wholeheartedly for a number of years without any recognition, then what I have to do is I have to also find ways and means of contributing financially to the activities of the church so that my effort can be recognized. So now I think this thing about religion is that come to Christ and you become rich. So when everybody comes to the church, he said, seek ye the kingdom of God first, and all other things shall be given unto you. But now we are seeking the other things before seeking God. So our churches have a big role to play if we are to curb the corruption canker. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The last person. Yes, and then. No, I didn't see your hand up. It was, his hand was up. Okay. But then let me give you the opportunity just within some few minutes.
All right, thank you. I think for the church, it's just one unit. So
okay.
We need to look at a larger unit.
Brother, yes.
Okay. Whilst we were speaking, I was just putting down some points. And I believe very strongly that as we are fighting corruption, it appears most of the fora we have on corruption are usually with the matured, the adults, and we kind of neglect those that are going to be in charge tomorrow.
Yeah.
The UPSA SRC president made a statement talking about the children. We need to give a lot of attention to the kids, knowing very well that for us, I actually put out a question to ask before you ask them, that what do we mean by fighting corruption? Because that statement has been abused.
Sure.
We've used several times that, okay, the government is fighting corruption, the organization is fighting corruption. Yet, we come back to say we are fighting the corruption. So what exactly do we mean when we say we are fighting the corruption? And it looks like fighting that corruption is just a statement or a word that we are using or towards or giving to the adults. What happens to the children? Because for the Agenda 2063 that we are looking at, most of us are likely not to be around. So then those that are going to be in charge, he spoke about the toffees. He started in KG. He's giving toffees. By the time he gets to the primary school, he will start giving 10 pesos, 20 pesos. He gets to the JHS, he'll be giving 50 pesos. By the time he wants to run for an office, he's signing checks. You see, and I believe we need to really look at the children. The dictionary, one definition I go for corruption, it says the act of corrupting or of impairing integrity, virtue, moral principle, the state of being corrupted or debased.
Exactly.
Moral principle. What are the moral principles that we are setting for our kids? Those in KG, those in class 1. What are the principles we are setting for them? And I believe it will be a good step for us to start.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you very much. So finally, so briefly, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. He has actually touched on some of the things I want to say, but I want to start from the corruption level. You see, we have been made to be like just talkers all the time. So it's just like we come and then we speak and that's all. It's quite unfortunate. But I want to say that the whole thing about fighting corruption is about preparedness. Like taking the schools, for instance, where we have been trained for some time and then for a period we have been assessed. And then we say some people are trying to bring up some certain malpractices. It's because they are not prepared. They didn't prepare. So it has forced them to get themselves into things that they are not supposed to do because they want to get to where they want to get to at all costs. Meanwhile, that is not the case. Okay, let me also talk about the values aspect. You see, we have to see that even God, in creating the world, as we have read from the Bible, he didn't do everything in one day. In fact, he started with a process. So we have to believe that, we have to be trained to believe that you cannot get to, or you cannot get what you want in a day. You cannot get what you want in a time. It's a process. The same thing goes with development. The same thing goes with whatever that we want to do. So I just want to make it brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And let's put our hands together for our panel members. They've done so well. Oh, put our hands together for them. I know most of us are tired. Okay, we'll give you the platform. So basically what we've been able to gather is that, what we've been able to gather is that fighting corruption is an issue of mindset. Are we all prepared in this room that as you step out, if you are the last person to enter a room and they tell you that you are late, you will not pay your way through? Are we ready to make sure that students vote for you into offices, or you enter into national politics or whatever with a mindset of supporting or developing the people whose life have been entrusted into your hand? We need to build on our strong values. We need to build on our cultural heritage and identity. Listening from all our panelists, you realize that they have made a personal effort and a conscious mind that I will not do it. And I want to challenge all of us that we are leaving this room with a mindset and attitude that we are not going to do anything that will speak otherwise to our morals, anything that will speak otherwise to our values, anything that will speak otherwise to our norms. And I know we all pledge to that. Do we all pledge to that? That those of us in this room, we are going out there and make Africa the best continent in the world. And we wish that in the next 50 years, that is when we are evaluating finally that Agenda 2063, we can boldly say that we are without blemish. We are not corrupt as a continent. Thank you, and may the good Lord bless us. Amen. All right, shall we put hands together for our panel members as they take over? Okay, so from here, I think we'll go for our lunch. And after lunch, there is another panel discussion where we are also going to look at chatting.